What's good, YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Lars and Conditioning. The ever mythical debate of what is more difficult to start out with, starting skinny or starting fat. Here are some reasons why I believe starting out fat is much more difficult than starting out skinny. Alright, before we get into the reasons why I think it's harder to start out as fat versus starting as skinny, let's look at some things that are common in between the two. The thing that is common between the two is the diet on both sides, in one way or the other, is messed up. When you're skinny, you're probably eating too little, and when you're fat, well, we know you're eating too much, and you're probably also eating a lot of processed foods in the first place, and you're probably also being very sedentary on top of this. So these are some things that are common in both of them. Skinny people may even be sedentary as well, but they may only eat one or two smaller meals in a day, whereas the fat person may eat, well, 7 meals that are big, but to them it's not big and they don't really eat that much because, well, only 3 out of those 7 were actually meals, the 4 others were snacks in forms of cake, so that's not food, right? Alright, when you're starting out skinny, aside from getting your diet in check, which you have to do in either case, just in one way or the other, if you're starting out skinny, you, to an extent, have like a free pass to eat, and you actually just have to learn to eat. And whereas with a fat person, you have to learn to what to eat and how to eat it, and the amount and what, what is food, what constitutes as food, right? The whole aspect of food gets to be a lot more nuanced for a fat person, because they actually have to learn that just because they ate 4 snacks and they only ate 3 meals, they still ate a lot in those days because they ate basically 7 portions of something with calories throughout the day. And that is ultimately what matters, the amount of calories that you take in on a daily basis versus not taking in a lot of calories like you would often see with a lot of skinny people. And I say this because I know some skinny people will be like, no, I just have a high metabolism. More than likely, you don't. You just probably aren't eating. If you are a skinny person and you are actually eating 4,000 calories of food, actual food, not donuts, but food, and you claim you can gain weight, okay, sure, then you have a high metabolism. But if that's not the case, then you don't have a high metabolism. Another reason, and this is taken from personal experience, why I say it's harder to start out as fat versus starting out as skinny. I'm someone who has lost about 80 pounds or so, and goal-wise, I still have like 20, 24-ish more pounds so to go. So by the time that has been achieved, that would have been 100 pounds total lost. So, and this is why I say it's harder to start out as fat versus like starting as skinny, because, well, I didn't just start out like regular fat, if we can call that. I started out severely overweight and actually got worse over time because of this constant voice in my head being like, oh no, you can do that, just eat that, or you had a good workout, you should get some pizza or some ice creams. And this is like the very big difference between the skinny person and the fat person, that you have this sort of like almost, I would say, borderline self-destructive drive to trip yourself up, and you constantly have to be aware of it. And even at this point, after having lost about 80 pounds, that thing is still there. It doesn't really go away. So something that you constantly have to be aware of. So that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. Lars.